Jesus was traveling to Bethany with his disciples to celebrate Passover in Jerusalem. But he did not travel alone. All around him, tens of thousands of pilgrims were making their way toward Jerusalem for the same festival. The Roman Empire had a large Jewish population spread across its vast territories, even as far away as Spain. And many of them tried at least once in their lifetime to make the journey to the temple in Jerusalem. Some went even more than once during their lifespan. And from the west, many traveled to Jerusalem by ship. Since Emperor Augustus had cleared the Mediterranean of pirates, sea travel had become both safer and more affordable, so even ordinary Jews could now travel to Jerusalem. And they arrived in Judea at ports such as Caesarea Maritima, Joppa, Ashkelon, and Gaza, with Caesarea and Joppa being the most popular of those ports. From there, they walked the long roads up toward Jerusalem, often in large groups for protection against robbers and bandits, which were frequent on those roads. And approaching from the Mediterranean Sea, they entered the city from the west and camped in large numbers in tent camps outside the walls. At the very same time, tens of thousands more approached Jerusalem from the east. They came from Galilee, they came from Syria and Asia Minor, what we today call Turkey. And they then had to follow the Jordan Valley from the north. They traveled southwards and then up toward Jerusalem, gathering in and around Bethany. During this time, Bethany had become an important hub for pilgrims from the east. And some of those pilgrims stayed with relatives or friends, like Jesus did, while many others camped in tents outside Bethany, Bethphage, and along the slopes of the Mount of Olives, because Jerusalem itself could not contain those numbers and those crowds. Normally, the city had around 40,000 inhabitants, but during Passover, it could swell to well over 150,000 people. So large tent camps formed on both the western and the eastern sides of the city, each of them containing tens of thousands of pilgrims. And Passover was not only a religious feast, it was deeply political. It commemorated the liberation from Egypt, when God had delivered Israel from its oppression during the Egyptian period. And it reminded the people of a time when they had lived in freedom under their own rulers, especially under their righteous king David. In such a setting, with massive crowds gathered, the hope for a new liberation could easily arise. A single spark could ignite revolution. That was why Pontius Pilate, the Roman governor of Judea, moved his troops from Caesarea Maritima, where he normally lived in comfort, to Jerusalem during Passover to maintain order and prevent unrest. And normally, Jerusalem had a Roman cohort of about 600 soldiers, but during the festival, Pilate could increase that number to as many as 1,000 to 1,500 troops. That was a substantial increase. Into this very charged atmosphere, Jesus arrived to Bethany 6 days before Passover. He stayed with Mary, Martha, and Lazarus, The Bible tells us they were close friends of his. Meanwhile, many other pilgrims remained outside the village, camping on the surrounding hills. And during this time, Jesus and his disciples were invited to a dinner hosted by Simon the leper. Many came to see Lazarus, the man whom Jesus had raised from the dead. And because of this, many of the pilgrims began to believe in Jesus.
Is that an unbroken alabaster jar? It seems like that. Is she opening it? Oh, that's intense. This perfume could have been sold for a lot of money.
Yes, and the money could have been given to the poor.
What is she doing? That's a total waste. Such a bottle cost over 300 denarii. It's better to sell it and give the money to the poor.
Hey Jesus, why wasn't this perfume sold and the money given to the poor? It was worth a year's wages. How can she do such a thing?
Leave her alone. Why are you bothering her? She has done a beautiful thing to me. The poor you will always have with you, and you can help them anytime you want. But you will not always have me. She did what she could. She poured perfume on my body beforehand to prepare for my burial. Truly, I tell you, wherever the gospel is preached throughout the world, what she has done will also be told, in memory of her.
The perfume was kept in an alabaster jar. That was a small container carved from soft, very beautiful stone, designed to protect the precious nard inside. Once opened, it could not be closed again. Nard was not produced locally. It came from the distant regions of the Himalayas, modern-day India and Nepal. It was made of the roots from a mountain plant. The roots were dried, they were crushed, and they were processed into a thick, aromatic oil. The scent of this oil was intense and long-lasting. It was earthly and sweet and rich. When it filled a room, it lingered, and it lingered for long. This perfume had traveled great distances, likely carried by caravans along ancient trade routes from India to Judea. It was far to go on those ancient roads. And because of this, it was extremely expensive. The Gospel tells us it was worth more than 300 denarii, the equivalent of an entire year's wages. And that same evening, Judas went to the chief priests.
What are you willing to give me to hand over Jesus to you?
You will have 30 pieces of silver when you deliver your part and help us hear him.
Finally, we can seize him when the people is not around.
But there was a problem. Jesus was surrounded by large crowds. Many believed that he was a great prophet, some even that he was the Messiah. Because of this, the chief priests could not act openly. That could spark a revolt. Instead, they made a plan. Together with Judas, they agreed to arrest Jesus when he was away from the crowds. To understand this very moment, we must remember something very important. Jesus' journey to Bethany and soon to Jerusalem was not perceived as merely religious. It was a political act, or at least deemed like a political act by the religious leaders. Religion and politics were not separate spheres during this time. They were part of the very same reality. What happened in the temple affected the nation, and what happened in the nation affected the temple. And this was what Caiaphas and Annas understood. Caiaphas, who was the high priest during this time, And Annas, his father-in-law, whose family had dominated the high priesthood, now saw an opportunity and a threat. They recognized the danger in Jesus and his many followers. They wanted to act politically and forcefully, but they could not see how to do it due to the large crowds. Until that evening, when Judas came to them and offered to hand Jesus over in secret. Watch the next episode to see how the story unfolds. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss anything of the content. Click the bell below so you can be updated on every new video that will come during each day during the Passover. God bless you.